Yeah, that's right. We're in a tent with people possibly doing illegal substances, but that's fine because we're a cool cop. We have to talk to the rest of them. We only talk to, like, this guy with the blonde hair that looks like a crown. There's a couple others for us to talk to, though.
A young man with peroxide blonde hair holds up a Harman Walshy tape player, nodding along to the music. He looks at you with a knowing smile and says, as though you're supposed to be sharing some tremendous evangelical secret,
Hardcore!
Is it?
It's hardcore!
I don't know what to say to that.
Skibbity, skibberdanger. I am the rearranger.
your cop training did not prepare you for this. What to do?
Strange that the cop training would overlook such an obvious interaction.
Could there have been a right way out of this garden of forking paths, you think?
Well, that didn't lead to anything.
The young man with the tape recorder acknowledges your return. When he looks at you, he squints as though you were the setting sun.
This is hardcore.
Let's say nothing.
Hardcore!
We will still say nothing.
Hardcore to the mega.
Nothing.
Internally coherent.
Nope, nothing.
All car! All right! Yeah!
Nothing.
He furrows his brow as his very large head traces the sublime invisible movement of the music in the very real air of the stuffy tent.
Hardcore! Ah!
He lets out an agonized roar over the feeblish, obviously not too hardcore beat below. Well, I guess there's only one thing we can say about that. So hardcore!
Is it though?
He stops dead in his tracks, tilting his head to the side. It is!
But is it? I mean, really?
He tilts his head to the other side like an owl.
Feels like you should reply with the very pinnacle of idiocy here, so that things get totally transcendent. But you haven't gotten there yet, so you don't know what to say.
I was thinking that too.
I am the mic enforcer. I am the chicks checker. Yeah!
I guess we haven't gotten there yet. Maybe we will get there at some point.
So you had a talk with Andre, and now you want to discuss things with Noid. Good.
Skin shows through the holes in the Speed Freak's too large sweater. In front of him, an open toolbox full of carpentry tools and parts.
It's good you talked to Andre first. Gave me time to get a reading on your sign. Can't really talk to people before you get a reading.
He runs his hand through his hair, which is combed back in mock seriousness, and continues to fiddle with some gears. Sign?
Yeah, gotta compare. See if we can align.
Interesting.
I suck at socialising, man. Even now, our sign synchronisation is way off. But I'll see what I can do.
He continues to rearrange his tools. Tell me about the machines you saw in the church.
Weird stuff. Specialised. There was a data processor and some sort of long-wave machinery. Wires going into water. Gives off a spy sign. Or some fucked up Samaran science sign. You know, the kind that goes head first into the supernatural.
What's wrong with the supernatural?
Nothing's wrong with it. You should definitely be researched. You can still do sick shit with it, though.
The sickest. That's perhaps why it should be researched.
Absolutely. The supernatural. So you think it's real? That it actually exists?
Most of it doesn't exist. But there's also stuff that isn't allowed to exist. Because the moralists think it's too dangerous for the plebs. Psionic powers, pale-related diseases, pretenders pretending to be human, folk rights, that kind of stuff.
Oh yes, that's right. That kind of stuff. The man doesn't want us to know about the folk rights. Why are you called Noid?
The hardcore aesthetic is esoteric. It's not meant to be discussed with the law at this moment.
He picks up some sort of a widget.
It's not easy to reach a harmonic resonance of signs without some adjustment.
Does this mean we need sign matching?
Yes, further sign matching would do good for us. One way to achieve this would be by getting us into the church.
Right, the church. Well, maybe I'll come back later. Alright, well, we got a mission. We got to go into this church, get rid of the drug addicts, and also maybe a crab man? That was mentioned last time. The possibility of a crab man. Apparently, she saw the crab man. Can we ask her about it?
The shaggy-haired girl kneels on the sea ice. She looks up as you approach.
So you talked to my associates, right? Are you going to help us? With the church, I mean.
Absolutely.
Great. Let us know if there's any progress, will ya? We've been waiting for weeks here.
The others told me you went inside the church. What did you see in there?
Oh, that. You're not going to believe me. There's no point in me telling you.
Was it the crab man? Tell me about the crab man.
Okay. I went in and I saw a woman next to one of those machines there. Noid calls it a mainframe. She was dressed like someone who's been raised by their grandmother, you know, strange old clothes. Had this absent expression, didn't say anything, just stood still.
Go on.
And then, you know, right behind her, a man crawled down the wall. Upside down like a crab, down the church wall. I think the woman didn't even know he was there. He was completely silent.
Okay, so the man is crawling on the wall. He's not actually a crab man. It's just that he's crawling somewhat related to a crab, okay?
He stopped right before he got to the floor, then just hung there like that, looking at me. Right at me. I fucking turned around and walked out. End of story.
Like a crab, you say?
His face is stone. What did this crab man look like?
It was too dark. I couldn't tell exactly.
Come on. She obviously could. She already went into detail.
Come on, quit stalling on me. What did he look like?
He looked like a banger, okay? He was all muscular and stuff. Had a mesh tank top. I know it sounds ridiculous, but that only made it scarier in a way.
Oh, we have a mesh tank top. In fact, I think I'm wearing it right now. You can't tell under the coat, but...
A crab and a banger?
The lieutenant raises an eyebrow.
Yes, a banger. As in a mess gang member. I know what it sounds like, but that's what I saw.
Well, you were wrong. I do believe you about the crab man.
Why?
Strange things happen.
Okay then. They certainly do around me.
I'd like to know more about your associates.
My associates? I haven't got much to say about them.
What do you mean? You must know something about them.
Of course I do. I just don't tell people about my friends and who they are and so on. I don't provide information on them.
What about you? Tell me something about yourself.
Me? I'm a silver bird.
High above and to the east, the cold winds blow over the feathers of an early songbird. She lands on the stone ledge of a tall building, her beak a silvery grey.
Okay. Maybe I'll ask later about all this.
Don't know what makes you think it'll be any different later, but...
Alright, so we got a new task. Get her to talk about the friends. So you see there's a church right there above the fishermen's shacks. Oh, so is this building the church then? Oh, what's that? Feel the shadow of a very large building fall on you. Dusty pews in the shadows. Many seem to be missing. Okay, seems like this is the church. An altar shrouded in dark, or something like that. Too dark to tell. Oh. I guess we should get this up. Sign reads St. Brune, 1147.
Heavy wooden doors, more than twice your height, stand shut in front of you. The rectangular sea-worn ornamentation appears in stark contrast to the padlock, carelessly drilled into the wood.
Inspect the carpentry.
The carving on the door is block-like and angular, like the church itself. 2 large beams shoot downwards, sinking into the wood before they reach the threshold.
Run my hand over a beam, to appreciate the woodwork.
The surface is smooth from the wind, but moist to the touch.
Take a closer look at this padlock.
This cheap-looking padlock is sturdily built. It shackles together a hasp and a staple screwed into the wooden door. The lock is adorned with a yellow sticker. It'll be easier to break the staple than the lock. Also, that sticker is interesting, somehow.
Let's look at that sticker.
You see a yellow circle with 2 X's and a big curve below them that looks like a mouth. You're pretty sure you haven't seen it before, but what the symbol depicts is clear enough. A smiling dead guy. The curve makes it smile, and the X's make it dead.
Have you seen this symbol before?
He takes off his glasses and uses a blue handkerchief to thoroughly wipe them clean before inspecting the sticker. Then he looks up, pauses, and replies.
No.
What does it look like to you?
Looks like a dead man smiling. Suggests junior delinquency.
What is junior delinquency?
For Revachol ZOC, the moral intern defined junior delinquents as minors between the ages of 10 and 16 who have committed an act in violation of the law. These acts aren't called crimes as they would be for adults. Crimes committed by minors are called delinquent acts. This was part of your officer's exams.
He puts the handkerchief in his coat pocket. What is suggestive of junior delinquency here?
I haven't seen that sticker before, and I'm not a youth.
Wow, that's quite high. Peel off the sticker without ripping it.
There's nothing like the sound of a sticker unpeeling. Now it's stuck to your thumb.
Let's put it on the cover.
Voila. Looks very modern.
Indeed. That was a secret task. We got experience for it. Let's open the padlock.
The lock turns easily. You hear a click as the shackle pops open. Feels like electricity and a very small piece of nothingness.
Let's go.
We pull on the doors.
As you do, you hear the echo of the doomed commercial area. Its black holes and dusty machines. Then the feeling passes. A great whoosh of air rushes into the dark innards of the church, as though rushing to fill a great vacuum in the heart of the city.
Time to kick out some drug addicts? I guess that's what we're doing? And possibly the Crabman. Strange stillness fills you as you look ahead. You should walk here, not run. This grotesque wooden figure looks half-finished. Don't know if there's a reason not to run, or are we just filled with reverence for this church? More of the forked lightning pattern we saw outside. The blackboard is filled with complex equations. They look recent. Oh. Something to do with radio's frequencies? The bowl is filled with water. A live wire runs directly into it. Could these wires work as contact microphones? The spider has spun its web around this wood-carved pillar. A cracked pane of glass. Colorful. Oh, good. I was wondering what happened to that. Frost had drawn flowers on the glass, obscuring the view. A figure drawn in frost on the window, depicting a deer. Look, we may be in reverence of this church, but that doesn't mean we can't blast our tunes. What we got? Silk scarf. Let's see. +1 pain threshold. So that would go on the neck. Currently... Oh, the neck is giving us 2 drama. I mean, we really don't need a boost of our pain threshold at this time. Pain threshold is doing okay. So, you know, drama really needs the boost. That's why drama's actually talking a bit now.
The silence in this part of the church, it's almost palpable. All the shifting matter and shuffling of living things is gone. Nothing seems to exist beyond the church anymore.
The silence even overcomes our beats.
Maybe if you were to stand in just the right spot, even your footsteps would be completely silent.
Wait, I think I still hear something.
And then it's gone. Almost all of it. But for the faintest of hums, you can hardly hear your own breathing.
Yell as loud as we can.
Your voice is barely audible. Not a howl, but the softest of whimpers. It's unnerving.
Stomp our feet and clap our hands.
You produce a few muffled thumps, after which the silence feels even more total, somehow.
Ask him, what's happening?
The lieutenant points to his ears and shakes his head. Then he leans closer.
Can you hear anything?
Can't hear shit.
I wonder why the church was built with such strange acoustics.
His detached tone conceals how uncomfortable he is.
Whatever it is, it's definitely real. Something odd is happening around us.
The lieutenant doesn't reply, but you can sense him tense up next to you.
Look up into the bell tower.
The orderly rows of ceiling panels become barely visible, then disappear completely in the darkness of the tower overhead.
58%. I guess it's a good thing that we learned that one thought that increased our perception +2. Alright. Let's try to do it.
It's like there's something moving up there. A shadow has emerged from the tower and it's making its way toward you through all the other shadows.
On the ceiling?
Yes. The darkness makes the ceiling feel infinitely far away. It's climbing. Climbing down, holding on the beams.
Follow the shadow's movements.
It's not a shadow anymore, becoming more substantial as it gets closer. The shape of an animal descends.
Officer, is there something up there?
The lieutenant follows your gaze, attempting to see whatever it is that you're seeing. Oh, but Kim's eyesight is bad. He can't perceive what we're perceiving.
Oh no, you've lost sight of it. Where did it go? Prepare for an attack.
Blink.
You see something hanging from the rafters, looking straight at you with dark eyes. Maybe it's possible to talk to it.
All right. The crab man has shown himself.
Is that a man? A man made of the same stuff as the carpentry of the building. He is studying you intently. The crab man.
Are you the crab man?
The man leaned forward a little, fixing you with a steady, unreadable gaze, then speaks.
Habitual alcohol use has made you into a scared little pussy, Holmes. But don't worry, everything's gonna be all right. You come to the right place.
It's not how I expected the Crabman to speak. But the right place for what?
Here you can receive the mother's love. And when you're ready, she will take your hand and lift you out of the despair at the bottom of that bottle.
This man is obviously a habitual narcotics user. Do we really need to question him?
Hey, and what was that about the bottle again? You haven't even drank that much lately. Lay off it already. Shish.
Yeah, I mean, electrochemistry is insulted. I've been denying electrochemistry all this time, and now we're being accused of hitting the bottle. I'm a policeman. I need to talk to you about police things. I don't know anything about alcohol use.
Oh yeah, sure. You don't know anything about alcohol use. You got it all under control, Way. I could smell the control all the way over here.
You don't know me. You don't know what it's like. There's something white pursuing me. White and very sad.
I was like you once, just dragging my feet to the next bottle. Shit was dark, Holmes.
You know, actually, since we're here, you may want to pay attention to what the ceiling climber is saying.
Look at these crazies. What is this shit?
Electrochemistry does not like this. For some reason, I feel like you have a point there.
Don't trust me. Trust the mother. I'm only the messenger, Holmes.
His voice echoes in the cold air of the church.
This is the Church of the Mother of Silence. You are welcome here.
He sways gently on the beams, waiting for you to take it all in.
This Mother of Silence sounds like a serious player. You might want to be careful until you find out what you're dealing with.
I'm gonna ask you again. Are you the Crabman?
Never known myself to be a crab. But if that's the name you got for me, I won't stop you from using it.
Sorry, you just weren't moving like a human.
I always thought of myself more like a flame, flickering along the rafters and beams. It may be that I gotta work on my technique.
What were you before you became a Crabman?
I was in a gangway, but my memories of that time are fading. Most of them are already gone.
I lost my memory too, but I like it. It's like I get to create a whole new me. Start again from scratch.
That's not really the point, I say. You gotta give yourself over to service. Service of the mother, that is.
Do you remember your name, sir?
The lieutenant is not particularly interested in this information. He's just trying to assert some control over the conversation.
Tiago's my name, but those syllables don't mean much to me these days. My name isn't just your identity, but also, so to speak, your place amongst your fellows, your place in the world. I ain't got no use for such a place anymore.
My name sets me apart from my fellows. How often do you meet a Raphael Ambrosius Cousteau?
Don't think I met one yet, Holmes.
He studies you silently for a moment. Lieutenant raises his eyebrows and coughs. Some ravers want to turn this place into a nightclub.
The ones in the tent outside? Right? I see them. Guessing they're the ones who call me a crab. Probably scared of me.
Well, wait, do they have reason to be scared?
Nah, man. They look pretty funny. And I don't harm no one anymore. Anyway.
Though he used to, a long time ago.
So what do you think? About the nightclub, that is.
Why not? They wouldn't bother me none. I'm usually way up there, imbibing. Ain't no music on earth that can reach where I go. Might even be nice to have some company.
He said that in spite of himself. He's more attached to the human than he'd like to think.
What are you doing here?
This is a special place. There's a perforation in the world up there, a way out into nothingness. This church was built around it for purposes of veneration. I circled it, nurtured by the silence bestowed by the mother. One of these days, I'll be pure enough to go drink from it directly.
And who is this mother of silence you keep talking about?
Oh, that's no simple question, Essa. She is one who can be painted or sculpted. She is a cavity in the dark beyond sense. She saved me, but I couldn't describe her to you. No one can, Holmes, and no one ever will.
His adoration is beyond sexual. This cavity is something that no human form has.
What will happen once you drink from this perforation?
I will be incinerated, but not destroyed. Finally, I won with the state of the world before reality began.
You sure you didn't just switch one drug for another?
It's not like that at all, man. It's just faith and joyful service.
Too gleeful, those words. He is lying. Not to you, to his very own self.
Faith is a kind of a drug.
I heard that before, Way, and I know I can't convince you on the spot. But think, when's the last time you woke up from silent communion with a hangover, regretting what you did last night?
There are drugs darker than alcohol circling your system.
Well, I'm not judging. I do have drug problems myself.
I can see, and it saddens me. But devotion can save you. It saved me.
I think love might have been my drug of choice, and I think I'm still hungover from it.
She took you for a good spin, huh? Don't worry, bro. That love is but a drop compared to the ocean of the mother's love. The mother will eat all of you and never spit you out.
Goodness. I guess you have a point.
I know it will take time. Don't sweat it.
I still don't...
No, it will take time. Don't sweat it.
Okay, I won't sweat it. I still don't understand what you're doing in the church.
I'm a seraph, Holmes. I sing the mother's glory.
You should sing for me. The superstar cop.
I am from no Marietti, if that's what you're thinking. And the song I sing is silent as the mother.
How'd you even find this place? This church?
Hard to say. I think I did some construction work here, back when I still had material worries. Up there, I realized what the true purpose of the church was. Been spending a lot of time here ever since. The past is nothing to me now, Way. It didn't belong to me.
Is this your scar flying around here?
I think it was. A long time ago. I had to shed it like a skin to get closer to the center of the silence. You could have it. I don't need it anymore.
Right. I had other questions.
The sinewy figure lingers on the wooden beams, blending into the shadows.
You've been here a long time. Do you know why this church was abandoned?
Police raid a while back.
He responds, his voice suddenly flat.
Did you witness it?
Not really, or at least I don't remember much of it anymore. The mother's love has done its job. That's what's so great about the mother. It lets you forget about everything.
Do you know where the other spooker is? Point to the strange machines around us.
Other spooker? Oh, esa viejita es muy estudiosa. Don't know, Holmes.
Wait, so there is another person living in the church? And it's a viejita?
No. I just call her viejita because of her clothes. She's actually quite young. Or maybe not that young. Age is just one of the many masks we wear.
Yeah, that's what SLA told us, that she saw someone here who seemed kind of young but was dressed as an old woman.
Wait, what if it's Ruby?
Did it ever seem to you like she was hiding here from something?
The lieutenant seems to be thinking the same. He takes out his little notebook.
You mean like a fugitive?
He glances at the abandoned radio computer on the other side of the nave, pulsing with light. Then he shakes his head.
No, man. Quite the opposite. I don't think she cared much about authority or anything else for that matter. Maybe only about her machines.
I see. And where is she now?
I told you, Holmes. I don't know.
But how can you not know that when you both live here?
Don't really follow her comings and goings. Just see her typing on her computer now and then. We got different interests.
So you got nothing else to tell me? How she looks, what she does? Who is she?
I'm afraid not, Essay. You just have to wait until she comes back, or...
He shrugs.
Or search through her radio computer.
We could do that. Alright, well, the Crabman ended up just being a very friendly sort. It just turns out that he climbs around naked on the, on the ceiling here. And he's not actually part crab. So we cleared that up. Oh, there's something else here. We have over 30 real. Let's see. Mesk Bangers, Red Brogues. +1 empathy because we're in someone else's shoes. How clever. These dapper snakeskin shoes have an almost invisible white-on-white flower motif sewn on the tongue. The toe caps are still dusty from lying in the church. Wow, that's a coincidence. Our shoes are snakeskin. We just happen to find a different pair of snakeskin shoes. The current ones we have, +1 composure, -1 savoir-faire. But if we put these shoes on, we get +1 empathy. Let's take a look at something. Empathy's at 4, so giving it another point would put it at 5, which might make a difference in how much it's talking. Not that. The current shoes give a +1 to composure, -1 savoir-faire. Composure's at 3. Hasn't spoken too much. We haven't really gotten many rolls with it. There was a put it at 2. Savoir-faire is at 1. So that would put it at 2. Which probably still would not result in it talking much yet. But yeah, let's put on the new shoes. Also, let's see. Wasteland of Reality. Temporary research bonus, -2 to physical instrument because of insomnia. Research time 20 hours. Is that the longest one yet? Pretty sure that's the longest one we've seen so far. It has been brought to your attention that you're an alcoholic and that it's a sickness and it's killing you. You're crawling on your knees through life, your booze-filled belly dragging on the ground, your brain now fuzzy, now in overdrive, your hair sticking together with today's cold sweat and yesterday's vomit. Perhaps they're right. Anything is better than this, even bone-dry reality itself. Maybe you can quit. Okay, so losing our alcoholism, 20 hours. Interesting. I wonder if that would that mean that we wouldn't be able to drink alcohol to get a physical bonus, or would maybe you'd think you wouldn't be able to do that anymore if you get rid of your alcoholism, but I don't know. But could be, I mean, we do have an alcohol problem, so this could be for the best, though I'm sure electrochemistry would be very angry at us. We don't have a slot to open up right now, however, because we have no points. But even if we did have a slot to open up, we also have Fairweather T500, which is learning about the armor, which could be useful if we have to actually fight the mercs, because they probably have armor themselves. And that one is much shorter. It's 3 hours, 30 minutes. This one will take so long to actually absorb, so we'll see. Once we actually get a skill point to unequip a thought to replace it with a new one. We will see. Cold wind blows in from the broken gallery. Makes your skin crawl. A portable Harman Waushi tape recorder. 2 decks of reel-to-reel tapes spinning on empty. Someone's siphoning electrical current from outside into this antenna.
A machine stands in the corner, watched over by the figures on the stained glass window. It's turned on and quivering with soft electricity.
Well, we have seen this kind of computer before.
Another radio computer. And this time it's already turned on.
Seems cautious around the machine.
We should leave. I doubt this place bears any connection to the case.
Yes, but this machine looks just like the one in the doomed commercial area.
It's also quite similar to the one we have down at the station. Must be the same model.
He inspects the machine's framework, careful not to touch anything.
The one you saw earlier was the Ream Civic. This is the Ream Prefect, a model number RC7024, equipped with a Fell mainframe and a Ream-compatible interim printer.
Wait, let me just investigate it.
You see fluorescent play and print buttons on the keyboard. A hatch connected to the central compartment is wide open. The lieutenant says nothing. You see the machine's glowing frame reflected back from his diamond-shaped glasses. You're free to proceed.
Look inside the compartment.
Behind the hatch sits a cube-like crisscross of filaments, smoldering in the dark like fireflies. Silver tape on the side says, in black marker, log, February to March.
Okay, so I guess the core is already in there.
Another filament memory. Press play to talk with the repeater.
Let's press play.
The speaker comes to life. Static seeps through the machine's planar magnetic driver. An old lady greets you. Her voice sounds 100 years old.
Good evening. Votre accident on Saint-Brun. This is the East Insulindian Repeater Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the personal log?
Oh, is she's calling this place Fortress Accident as well? Because that was the game company back in the Doom commercial area.
It's the same old woman you spoke with through the radio computer in the doomed commercial area.
Yvonne, it's me again. How are you?
Good, thank you. Please repeat. Is this the personal log?
I looked inside the core, but the tape on the filament just said log, Febmar.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Let's look around. There's no use trying to guess the answer. Maybe he knows something.
I don't know the password.
Received. I will register this login attempt. Fortress Accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
Fortress Accident? Like the one in the doomed commercial area?
I have 2 machines registered to this company name in Martinez. One on Saint-Brun, the other on Rue de Saint-Ghislaine.
Saint-Brun. That's the church. And Rue de Saint-Ghislaine? That's the doomed commercial area.
Anything else I can help you with?
Thanks, but I'm finished with this call.
Sleep well, Fortress Accident.
She says as her voice disappears into a whirl of static.
The machine's keyboard is still illuminated, revealing fluorescent play and print buttons. In white, silver, and apricot faience, the young mother of humanism stands above you. A crack runs across her body. She is impossibly tall, oval-faced and sad. A dark and radiant majesty.
So is this Dolores Day? We've heard the name a few times.
Cradled in her arms are a pair of glowing lungs, clearly visible from underneath her flowing dress. You should kneel. Cold wind seeps in from the crack in the glass. Snowdrifts cover the floorboards at your feet. Above, you feel her multicolored eyes on you, inspecting you, as if under a microscope.
Look up.
The woman looks down at you standing there. She towers among her followers, architects, laymen, courtiers. There is a sad smile on her lips and a glint in her green-blue eye. Of what? Compassion? Remorse?
It's not possible to live.
As that great and desperate thought passes through your mind, the lieutenant draws an X-shaped cross from shoulder to shoulder.
Do the same.
Your fingertips touch your chest 4 times as you stand in the apricot-colored light of the window. Above you, the woman still smiles, her distant smile, sundered by the crack in the glass.
The encyclopedia is 28% check. Visual calculus is 3%. Who is this, Kim?
It's Dolores Day. The old woman was right. This is the Dolorian Church of Humanity in Martinez, or the Small Pinewood Church in some records.
You knew of the place?
It's a minor landmark, not easy to find. Most maps misplace it. It was built not long after Ravachol's founding, 300 or so years ago, by first-generation settlers.
What else do you know?
There used to be 7 stave churches on the coast. Les Sept Sœurs, they call them, the 7 Sisters. Only one remains. The rest were burnt in the revolution or used for building materials. We should be respectful here, although the building appears to be deserted. I do not believe we'll find the instigator here. Something else, perhaps?
He looks at the machinery lying around.
A pang of guilt. The lieutenant is leaving something out.
Do you know why it was abandoned?
I have a theory, yes. There was a police raid a while back. I heard the place was shot to pieces. The old woman in the village was being tactful with us when she didn't mention it. She has more respect for the RCM than many around here.
Who conducted the raid?
Well, your station was involved, I hear. Although I can't be sure.
You're not sure?
3 precincts were involved in the raid, and people say Precinct 41 was one of them.
Well, I don't remember being here.
I am pretty sure it was a clandestine operation. I don't know anything more about it, why it was conducted, or who participated. I try not to pry into extra-district matters.
If I was here, I should find out what I was doing.
Good luck. You will not get information on a confidential operation from your station secretary just by calling. If you really don't remember, it might be better to keep this one forgotten. It happened a while ago. It's unimportant to our business in Martinez now.
Well, that conversation did not increase the chances here. Hey!
The damage you've done to yourself. The title appears lodged in your hippocampus. This is her innocence, Dolores Day. The innocence of humanism, internationalism, and the welfare state. Perhaps the most famous human being ever to have lived. No amount of Commodore Red can wipe her sad smile from your brain thing. It has survived the deluge and haunts you still, and will haunt you forever, as it haunts all men.
What exactly is an innocence? I've heard of the system.
The highest category of historic individual, an embodiment of the world spirit.
A tyrant? Oh, in a way. An innocence is elected to office by the founding party, a precedent that has taken place a mere 6 times in the entirety of history. The legal system of the Real Belt is built from the ground up to accommodate its innocentric rule. Should it coincide with our time?
An innocence is infallible. The decisions made by one are not decisions. They are inevitabilities. What would have happened anyway? Only accelerated, packed into decades instead of centuries. An innocence is a continuous, compressed event, a sacred human being. It is an honor and a glory to live when one is in office.
Is one in office now?
No, we are alone.
Okay. When did she rule?
300 years ago, in the wake of the discovery of this Isola, the Insulindian, by explorers from the continent of Muindi. She is, among other things, the innocence of inter-isolary travel and the connected world.
What else do I know about her?
Many things. You know she was a woman of the court, the wife of an influential Marchese, and eventually the principal advisor to Irene la Navigateur, Queen of Seren, modern-day Sir La Clé, also that she was gorgeous beyond beauty, draped in ancient sadness. Are you sure you want to remember this bit of historic trivia? Standing under a long, slender form like this, dwarfed?
Where is this coming from?
The past. It's a silo of sadness, fermenting. You should keep away.
Well, what else? Was she smart?
Terribly. Women of the court were expected to play both contract bridge and chess sufficiently well to prove an interesting challenge to a man. A simple grasp in matters of philosophy, theology, and science was encouraged. She was, by all means, a kept woman. She made the most of her position in the antediluvian court, a court visited by the most prominent thinkers and artists of the day. In secret, she was becoming the era's preeminent philosopher of the state, a scalpel, a piercing gaze. She was an almost preternaturally magnetic and intelligent individual. To her contemporaries, she appeared out of time, a messenger from the future of the species. We all fell in love with her, head over heels. Even before she was declared an innocence, her influence was tremendous.
How come?
It was on her advice that Irene la Navigateur sponsored a number of voyages into the Pale, a costly, often tragic endeavor, ultimately vindicated by the discovery of the new world, the piece of reality you're standing on. She was crowned 2 years after the first expedition returned, setting in motion what is widely considered the greatest era in history, the DeLorean era.
Wow.
Wow indeed. When her innocence was declared, and the queen she had advised for years fell on her knees before her, she was so overcome with emotion that her lungs started glowing in her chest.
Yeah, I noticed that in the image there on the stained glass window. She got them glowing lungs.
Bystanders reported golden filaments lighting the already sunlit chamber around her, clearly visible beneath her dress.
I want more.
As did we all. The lands of the Mess and the Occident, and even far away Supremawindi, altogether 21 of the 40 mundial nations of the time, immediately accepted Innocentic rule, even before her crowning.
Her crowning?
In a city called Advesperaskit in Vespa Messina, her homeland, the name of the city means evening comes, but it happened on a winter's morning, with the canals frozen and slush falling out of the sky. She was dressed in a white and pearl dress on an emptied-out plaza with the crowd far away. Already, her Theriers, the secret servicemen of the Innocents, were worried about an assassination attempt.
Well, she must have been beautiful.
Oh yes, she looked like humanity's young mother, a perfect mother, insultingly beautiful. It was as if her face and shoulders and hands were covered in a soft down of underfeathers. You know this well, very well. Midwinter snow was beating the cobblestones around her. A small attaché of officials stood by as her Theriers placed a white gold wreath on her head. The crowning was mostly witnessed by secret servicemen.
Then what?
One of the men in this secret service killed her 22 years later. A young man who had come to suspect that Dolores Day was not entirely human, but something else.
What?
Something that had walked in our midst, watching us stumble for hundreds, if not thousands of years, until it decided to interfere in the course of our history. We were supposed to come up with this ourselves. The man was reported to have screamed at the Innocents. Dolores Day was shot in the chest with a fowling piece 8 times. The man, thought to be insane, said he once touched her and her body had been unnaturally warm, like a furnace, and that sometimes, while on duty, he observed her forgetting to breathe for over 10 minutes. This inhuman quality was witnessed by many others as well. glowing lungs and all. It is commonly attributed to mass hysteria and religious psychology.
Was there something terrifying about her?
Terrifying is a term too emotionally charged for your semantic memory, or what remains of it. But terrifying, it's a simple word. She was bad for humanity, and you shouldn't have started thinking about her.
No, was there something bad about her? I want to know.
You already do. Although she is often considered to be the greatest human being to ever live, there was something ominous about Dolores Day, constantly surrounded by her terriers. She was the most socially secluded and least self-aware of all the innocences. Some modern thinkers would consider her a war criminal for the campaigns she waged against the Mesk state. And then there were the resettlement programs.
What happened?
The Mesk state tried to detach itself from innocentic rule. Parts of the world were experiencing whiplash from accelerating into secularism. Her mandatory education programs and mass resettlement of upstream Marguerite were problematic as well. Dissenters were suppressed by a military force she called the Army of Humanity. She adored chess, yes, but also military war games. Dolores Day often holds a tiny tin soldier between her index finger and thumb in icons such as this. She was also blonde, the blondest woman you have ever seen, with green eyes the color of the Pacific, mare interregnum. Little is known of her Marchese husband. It's as if he vanished from history after completing his role, which was to introduce Dolores Day to court. In conclusion, yes, there is something lonely, paranoid, and even terrifying that people seldom mention, but feel when they think of her.
Lieutenant Yefreiter, you've stood there for over 5 minutes.
The lieutenant's calm voice echoes in the cold air of the church.
What are you thinking of, if I may ask?
Glowing lungs. That's fucked up.
Yes, glowing lungs are quite unusual. After that one time, they have not been reported to glow.
He takes his glasses off to clean them.
You know, this church, the coast, we shouldn't linger. Finish what you came here to do and let's move on. This isn't a good place to get lost in.
Yeah, let's turn away. Well, let's see if we can help out visual calculus. I think the glasses might be the only thing that helps out visual calculus that we have. Oh, no, the commander's jacket. Yeah, that is a +1. Do we have anything that is negativing it? Doesn't seem so. Okay.
The mother of humanism stands above you, a precious and complex wax painting on a single pane of glass.
Still quite low, but, I mean, might as well try.
The shards glimmer in the dark. You see little pearls of light on the edges of the crack that splits the female figure. Something was written there. Remains of broken letters line the emulsion. What it said, you do not know.
Well, we can always try that again later. Let's see. This one gives us +1 visual calculus, -1 to drama. Well, I mean, it's good that drama has been talking more. So, why don't we just replace that so drama is not taking the hit. That is a good-looking jacket. Alright, let's talk to Crabman again.
Oh, hey, Wei. There's coffee in the back. Oh, wait. I meant the mother's love.
Have you any chance heard the viejita say the password to her radio computer?
Too many times, Esse. You need it for something.
Surveys are a good way to fish for personal information. especially in the name of public safety.
Why are you singing your S's? I'm doing a survey of passwords and passcodes, identifying regional trends in the interest of public safety, of course.
Don't sweat it, vato. The password is afterlife death. What you think of that? Makes me almost pity la niñita pequeña when I hear it.
Oh, thanks.
I think we're done here, Essay.
Sure.
That was an interesting conversation. However, I'm still not sure whether we'll find our suspect here.
Okay, Crabman has taken a powder. But he did give us what we wanted to find.
The machine's keyboard is still the speaker.
Good evening. Votre accident en Saint-Brune. This is the East Insulindian Rapid Station 1. Please repeat. Is this the personal log?
Ahem. Let me try this again. I think I may have the right password for the personal log.
Good. Please repeat the password.
Afterlife death.
Good. I have unlocked the filament. After ending the call, please press print to access the filament. Votre accident. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
I guess we're done.
Sleep well, votre accident.
The machine's keyboard is still illuminated, revealing fluorescent play and print buttons. The printer prints out a long text document with dated paragraphs. It looks a bit like someone's journal.
Let's read it.
The first entry, made on the 4th of February, 51, by an unknown author, is short and concise. Arrived at the church. The door was boarded up, so I used the crowbar to get inside. Looks like the place has been deserted. Nothing out of the ordinary, but I'll ask around. Need to figure out how to get the electricity in. The lieutenant leans closer, scouring the printout over your shoulder. Just as you finish reading, he looks up, muttering under his breath.
4th of February. That's over a month ago. Whoever set up those machines has been here for quite a while.
Do you think this log may be connected to the case?
Our case? No, I don't think so. It must be some local eccentric.
Let's read the second entry.
6th of February, 51. Had a little chat with the local fishermen. Said I shouldn't go near that place, that the church was spooky and ridden with narcotics. It's a little spooky, all right. Still haven't figured out the electricity. See? Even one of the spookers themselves says it's unnerving. What was that about narcotics? This could prove to be interesting.
Wait, narcotics?
I doubt that we can find any. It's just idle fishermen's gossip to scare away the kids.
He looks at the stained glass window.
Nothing spooky about this place either. It's just abandoned and cold, and in an awful part of town.
I don't know, we were in that one part of the church where there wasn't any sound. That was kind of spooky.
Then why doth the lieutenant protest against spending time here so often?
Let's read the third entry.
7th of February, 51. Finally got the electricity in. Next on the agenda, a new antenna. I'm thinking Esca series, something advanced.
Why would she need an antenna?
Why would anyone need any of this equipment here?
He steps on a wire running on the ground, inspecting it with his boot.
8th of February, 51. Bought the antenna. Had some problems setting it up. Called Simo for help. Heard the others are back to making art. Drinking somewhere out of town. Sulislav started a rock band again. Lexi has been seen asking money from strangers. But at least the artists have their act together. They're qualified labor. They can get work anywhere. Graphic design, ads. The programmers are doing fine too. I mean, they're programmers. The writers, though, they're fucked. I just have to find out what caused that data loss and be done with it. Still don't understand how it managed to wipe out the backup, when the backup wasn't even connected to the front. I know. Everyone thinks it's impossible. They say I must be lying. I'm here to set it right.
A data loss.
Seems like something to do with radio computers. Unfortunately, I don't know enough about them to understand what the author is saying. Something about the backup data getting destroyed, and how everyone thought it was the author's fault. Let's just keep reading.
Artists, programmers, Lexi? Who are all those people?
I think these people worked in the radio computer games business, the one we saw in the Doom commercial area. They must be her former co-workers.
Yeah, it sounds like it, but don't know why she would have set up shop in this church. Doesn't seem like there's a reason for that yet. Read the 5th entry.
12th of February, 51. Brought some food from the grocery store. Apparently, there's a strike going on in the harbor. Definitely not happy to see the Martinez people again. Everything's now set up in the church. Going to start working tomorrow, 8 a.m.
The strike. We are nearing the date of the murder. Keep reading. I'm interested now. I want to know what's that radio anomaly that sent this person here in the first place.
25th of February, 51. I've been sending data up to Lintel for a while now, trying to recreate the data loss, but nothing. Didn't even feel like logging in, the disappointment. But I did discover a curious audio-spatial anomaly at the back of the church. I've named it the Swallow. It swallows sound. Need to get some mics.
Is she talking about?
Lieutenant looks to his right, towards the silence.
28th of February, 51. Yes, the first recordings confirm that the Swallow is real and I'm not just losing my mind. It's a pillar of silence with a diameter of approximately 3 meters. Seems like the higher I go, the less I record. This might be a coincidence, or it could be connected to the data loss that led me here.
The pillar of silence. She is talking about the silence. Is she suggesting it's more than just an architectural quirk?
But what could it be?
The lieutenant doesn't answer. He follows your gaze, studying the basins. The water shines in them. No ripples. March 51. Some kind of young disco men have appeared next to the church. I've been trying to record the silence to find the epicenter, but now it turns out I've also been capturing the future of dance music, one neo-disco song over and over again. Fortunately, the song is so monotonous, I was able to devise an algorithm to factor it out. The other day, one of the disco men came in. Before I could even say hello, she got scared and left. Good, I don't want anyone distracting me from my work. That disco man must be a cell.
She must be describing a cell.
The girl on the ice? Sounds like her, yes.
March 51. I got a call from the repeater station. Someone has tried to access the radio computer in our old office in Martinez. Can't do anything about it. The storekeeper still doesn't want to let me inside the building. Thinks I'm part of some kind of curse. How Martinez of her.
That's me! I was the one who broke into that radio computer, and the storekeeper must be Plaisance.
I knew it wasn't a good idea to meddle with that machine.
No. It was a great idea. You're learning things. This is how you learn things about machines.
Yeah, how else are you supposed to learn how these things work?
March 51. A new 2-meter aux cable. Noodles. Crackers. Ping pong energy drinks. Water. Toothpaste. Gum. Also, some canned air. Your reading is interrupted by the sound of the church door opening. A strange woman makes straight for the radio computer.
Breaking into my radio computer, I see.
She glares at you as she holds down the off button for several seconds. The machine reboots. Well, I mean, we probably saw the last entry anyway.
Yes, you are breaking in, but not into her radio computer. You're a master circuit bender.
I like this idea, interfacing.
I do apologize for the intrusion, madame. We are with the RCM, you see.
I can assure you, I'm an expert circuit bender. I'm not breaking into your computer. I'm using it to access Coalition military data links.
There are no coalition military data links. And even if there was, you couldn't access them over a civilian network.
Yes, I could. I'm a cybernetic god. I'm using your REM prefix to commandeer Coalition Warship Archer. I will turn its cannons against its masters.
That's nonsense. You're just a police officer.
She barely looks up from the keyboard. You hear the machine whir back to life.
Now please give me some room. I need 2 seconds to see that you haven't destroyed anything.
We should talk to her after she has rebooted the machine.
Well, for right now, take a look at something. What was I thinking of here? That's getting money if we talk like a hustler. Then, of course, there's Contact Mike. This one was critical success and failure thresholds lowered by 1. Coach physical instrument, of course, +2 physical instrument. The apricot gum, +2 perception. Jamais vu, +1 XP for every orb clicked. Anti-object task force, obviously the best one, +1 pain threshold, and we get healed by attacking things. This one is choosing the left wing options. We get XP, but there's some debuffs. White Morning, 20% zoom out distance. Superstar, -1 logic. Learning caps raised up. And of course there's Hobo Cop. Did we forget the one? I guess we must. I must have forgotten. I guess we already forgotten the one where we couldn't use drugs. I guess we already did get rid of that one. But I'm told that the litany of Contact Mike has already, like, apparently once you absorb this, like, apparently at that point it already does what it is going to do, so you can actually get rid of it. I don't know if that's true, but that's what people keep saying. So I'm going to just assume that that must be true and that we can just get rid of this without it being a problem. So, because we have to get rid of something if we're going to absorb more thoughts. So I guess we can say goodbye to Contact Mike. And we're going to internalize Fairweather T500. So that's -1 savoir faire. Like, not that -1 savoir faire is really going to matter, considering how low it's been.
What is it?
I didn't break anything, did I?
No, you just printed out my personal log and wasted some paper.
Does not look like a big loss to her. Hey, are you the lead programmer of Whirl Untethered by any chance?
Yes. Or, no. Not anymore. That project is dead.
She doesn't seem surprised to be recognized. Rather sad. Something passes over her face before she straightens her back.
Sorry, but who are you? What are you doing here?
I am Soona Luukkanen-Kilde, the former lead programmer of Fortress Accident and RSA radios. I have over 16 years of programming experience, and I'm proficient in both Vox and Orbis languages. If you're not here to hire me, I don't really know how I can help you.
Have you seen the Crab Man?
Nope.
But you know he's around.
Yes.
He's seen you.
And?
And the Crab Man has seen you.
I don't care. I don't care about crab men.
She barely looks up, now tinkering with the machine's printer.
Wow, she really doesn't. Not afraid, this one.
Half-Light is impressed. Have you seen anyone suspicious? Say, a woman named Ruby?
What? No. No one's suspicious around here.
She has not seen her, sire. 'Tis true.
Why are there so many machines in this place?
I brought them here. These are my machines. Please don't touch anything.
Why do you need an antenna?
I use the AR1 as my RAIN prefix processing unit.
REM prefect, that's your radio computer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that antenna is its processing unit?
Yes? You really don't know anything about radio computers, do you?
No, I'm a master circuit bender. I know everything.
Then you'll certainly know that all radio computers perform operations on air. So in order to gain more processing power, you need to invest in a good antenna.
Wait. What's on air?
On the front. The unified front of radio waves. Licensed and controlled by Lintel in the East Insulindic region. It's all around us. That's what on air means.
And the AR1? Is it a good antenna?
I guess it is. So far I've been quite satisfied with it. Martinez is an unstable region with bad coverage and the operation has been surprisingly stable. But it's not the cheapest one on the market. So I wouldn't recommend it for your regular red tape operations. Fraser 1000 is a foolproof line for civilians. Anyway, you should do some research before you decide to buy anything. Ask around, compare the prices. There are many milieus dedicated to that sort of thing.
She liked telling me this. It calmed her nerves.
What are you doing with your radio computer?
I'm working.
The machine seems almost alien with its pulsing core. The light casting her face in a strange shadow.
Working on what?
Could you just shh for a moment? Or get to the point. I really need to focus on something.
What about those bowls of water over there?
They are connected to my RAIN prefect. Whatever you do, just please don't move them, okay? Thanks.
Right, I'll try not to touch anything.
Great.
What are you doing in an abandoned church?
You really like those questions, don't you?
There's a hint of amusement in her tired eyes.
They're bloodshot. She really hasn't been getting much sleep lately, has she?
I need to make sure you're not hiding anyone here.
No, I'm not. It's just me and the crab man. I'm just doing some research, that's all.
What research?
I'm looking for the location of a 2mm hole in the world.
She's looking for a disruption in the radio waves. That's what her personal log said. The lieutenant raises his brows, but doesn't say anything.
Is the hole connected to the data loss in your journal?
Yes, that's what led me here. But I suspect it might be something a bit more complicated than that.
A hole in the world. What does that mean exactly?
Exactly. What does it mean? Up to now, it has been impossible to say what it is because it's impossible to measure nothing. What do you think it is? What qualities does nothing have? How do you measure something that does not exist?
She's suddenly absorbed in the conversation, waiting for your answer.
That's a little above your pay grade at the moment.
Oh, logic could not pass this test. Hold on a moment. Does that mean we're now living in the world that has holes in it?
I don't know. Are we? That's what I'm trying to figure out here. But how do I figure it out?
I can't even understand how we're talking about something that doesn't exist, let alone measure it.
You measure it by its surroundings, by that which does exist, which is what I've been trying to do. I've tried using hydro transducers to record the silence, to find out where it begins. But honestly, it's not progressing very well.
She grows silent, staring at her circle of basins. It looks like some ancient ritual. Do you have any idea where this hole might be located?
Somewhere underneath those roof beams, I assume.
She looks up, eyes trying to pierce the pitch-black heights above, but without much success.
Only a faint crisscross of rafters can be made out from the dark, most of the tower disappearing into the shade. Strange things may flourish in the dark.
Why there?
There's this place at the back of the church, a place where all audible vibrations seem to cease. I've named it the Swallow. And the higher you go, the less you record.
The Pillar of Silence? Are you sure it's not just an architectural quirk?
Maybe, but it's oddly close to the physical coordinates of the data loss that led me to this place.
This is where the Crabman lives.
I know.
You don't think Crabman might be somehow responsible here?
No, I don't.
You said that the research isn't going well. Why not?
Because it's just trial and error, trying to locate the swallow, the exact point in space. And I don't have a... You know what? It would be really helpful if you could just stop talking and let me work.
And that's all I wanted to know about the scary 2mm hole in the world. For now.
Great. Thanks.
Like, it looks like we could ask again, I guess, if we come up with any more information about it. How do you feel about anodic dance music?
What? I hate it.
What are you, 40? It's the future of dance music.
Maybe I'd have to be on drugs to get it, but to a sober mind it just sounds like uninspired rug whipping. No idea what it has to do with either dancing or music.
Right, but how do you feel about a club for anodic dance music?
This is about those speed freaks in the tent, isn't it? I've got some news for you. It's not a nightclub they want to build here.
Well, what do they want to build then?
Take a guess, why don't you?
A petting zoo? A place for animals?
I can't believe they got you so easily. Go have another talk with those up-and-coming entrepreneurs, will you? Thanks.
Good luck. I'm not coming in there.
I'll let you work in peace then. Alright, let's take a look at that. Tell Andre about Suna's thoughts on the nightclub. I mean, they seem like some honest people to me. Like, are we saying that maybe they were not completely forthright? No, I don't believe that. Surely it's just a misunderstanding.
Hi again. So, how are things going?
About the church, I checked it out.
And? What happened?
I talked to the crab man.
Oh, man! Who is he? What did you think?
Seemed okay, to be honest. He's very spiritual.
Really? Interesting. What's he doing in the church?
Just preaching and praying, from the looks of it.
No matter. Is he gonna be a problem? Yeah, Noid is right. Let's get back to the point. What are we gonna do about him?
Well, he told me he wouldn't actually mind the nightclub at all.
I dunno, man. Doesn't it feel like a major hindrance to you? A spooky guy climbing around when all the guests are trying to have nice, friendly hyper time?
Look, you're just gonna have to live with the crab man.
I guess it's not a massive problem, now that I think of it.
Everyone is welcome to dance till the morning light! Yeah! Maybe. I guess we'll figure something out. Okay, but what about the other spooker? The one in Grandma's clothes? Did you see her?
I was using the mainframe when Suna, the former lead programmer of Fortress Accident, appeared.
A programmer? That's odd. What was she like? Did you ask her about the nightclub?
She said you guys haven't been completely honest with me about your plans.
Come on, man. Who will you trust? A spooky programmer or us? We just want to make the world a better place. Feel the love! Get down and feel it!
The stuffy tent muffles the last two words. The command fails to impress. The love? Not really feeling it.
You'll get there, believe me. When we've got our gear set up, things will be flowing and pumping. Anyway, now that it's settled, how did she seem? I mean, disposition-wise, about the dance club idea. Yeah, Oda 9. Rocking it or dropping it?
She did not like the Anodic Dance Club idea.
What a pity! That's my favourite thing in the world! And she doesn't like it at all!
A shame. What can we do now? Do you see a way out of this jam and into a laser-lit future of dance and unity?
Unity! Dance!
Well, she made it clear that she won't leave until her own project is finished.
And you can't just evict her?
I'm not going to evict her. I mean, she was here first. We have to come up with a different solution.
Look at you, Honor Man.
No, Noid. He's right. Maybe we've approached it the wrong way after all. I'm sure there's a workaround. We can make a deal not to bother her. If that's okay with her, we only want to get in the church and spread the joy and ecstasy of music.
The lines in the dark exist, coexist.
At least Crabman seems like an advanced being. He's odd. He'll understand.
Yeah, Crabman's a pretty understandable person.
Yeah, he can do his climbing thing in the tower. And the programmer, does she like anodic dance music?
She gets down. I mean, who doesn't? Just listen to that crazy pulse.
Wonderful! If coexisting fails, you can always muscle her out, right? If it's all okay with you, what do you think?
I refuse to throw her out, but I can try convincing her.
Excellent! Good luck, my friend.
He smiles wide, like a replica of his friend with the large head. I know Noid has his signs, but what's the deal with Egghead there?
He's a quiet man, mostly communicates through music, and by being a master of ceremonies.
What's a master of ceremonies?
You know, a host, a declaimer of slogans. He's a performer, gets the people going.
Interesting, sire. A bit like you, then. An MC for short.
How do you communicate with him?
Well, he's just kind of here. I don't really know how to communicate with him.
Have you ever really talked to him?
Yeah, sometimes. When I stumble and find my way into his centre, you have to hear a lot of hardcore to the mega first though.
The man smiles mysteriously, choosing to let the beat speak for itself. I get it. He's a puzzle.
Wow, logic. This one has been bumped up. +1, Aseli was high. +2, Suna said something's amiss. +1, confronted him about Suna's hint. +1, unexplained ether smell. +1, unexplained nosefed. +1, headphones were sold. Let's,
Goodbye, officer.
I don't remember if we had anything that could help with logic. Just take a quick look. Doesn't seem so. We are getting a +2 from logic as it is. It's probably the best that we're gonna get.
Hi again. So, how are things going?
Oh wait, hold on.
Goodbye, officer.
We can, let's see. Do we have... Yeah, the smokes did do a +1 to intellect, that's true. Might as well give him one. Our intellect has been raised.
Hi again. So, how are things going?
Alright, we're at 58%, but perhaps we can make that a little bit higher if the chat could increase our int. Just increase that int to get a little bit of a boost. So we're going to go for that now. See if through all this we can put our logic together to figure out if everything isn't as we've been told. Okay, we're at 72%. We've certainly have failed 72% before, but let's see if we can pass it this time.
A number of things don't add up. Let's take a look. How about gather around, kids?
Okay, kids. Now, gather around.
The young speed freak puts down a busted capacitor and looks at you. The one with the large head seems very enthusiastic about whatever you have planned. Their would-be leader is less amused.
Sometime in the past, I'm not sure when and where, but betrayal was involved. I fell sick and became the shadow you see now, but before that, I have reason to believe I was a police officer. Police detective.
But you still are.
I was good enough in this job to be awarded the rank of Lieutenant Yefrater. I could have been captain. Imagine that.
What happened?
I did. I happened to myself.
That's a real downer.
Now, obviously, that might as well have been 1,000 years ago, but there's still some detective left in me.
The young speed freak is silent. He senses something is wrong.
This isn't the makings of a club. It's a tent full of laboratory equipment for manufacturing drugs.
I have no idea how you arrived at that conclusion, but it's wrong. Look, we even have speakers.
He points at the speakers.
One speaker. They have one speaker.
Where's his friend? Did he lose his friend?
What do you mean, friend?
The other speaker. You have only one.
It's a one-speaker system. It's monodynamic. You wouldn't know the first thing about sound reproduction in anodic music. Other speaker.
You have no headphones. Wouldn't a cell need headphones to spin tape?
What do you know about spinning tape? Nothing.
I know you pawned them. Likely for lab equipment and drug ingredients.
I'm sorry, but there is no lab equipment and no drug ingredients.
That Nosefed is here for its active ingredient.
He said it was for his nose. What more do you want?
The distilled water, cornerstone of a clean lab.
And of all cellular-based life, what's your point, Lawbringer?
The ether in the air, a useful solvent, good for getting acting agent out of a solution.
Make up your mind. First it's the sweat, then it's the ether.
Well, there's no need for me to pile on anymore, is there?
No shit.
Soon as said you've been lying about your plans, your answer was very unconvincing.
Fuck, man. It's difficult to get along with some people, but we're trying to make an effort. We are on a mission here.
In short, you tried to use a police detective to set up a drug lab.
That's... Come on, that's...
Preposterous?
I meant to say, not true.
So what are we going to do with you?
What do you mean, do?
There's resignation in his voice. He's almost ready to drop the act. It wouldn't take a lot of pushing.
You tell me what's really going on and we'll work from there. I can be lenient.
What do you mean by lenient?
Well, not calling backup and hauling you all off to the pen, for starters.
Okay, man, okay.
He raises his hands.
Things are just so hard for an entrepreneur in this city right now. It's not like we lied when we said we want to turn a church into the wickedest club in East Revershall.
Because we do! We totally do!
We just need to turn it into a speed lab before.
Ah, that speed lab is step one.
To get our foot in the door.
Of course. And why did you need me?
Like I told you, spooky arseholes moved in while I was getting all this stuff together. A month ago, the place was empty, and now it's all spooked up.
But they're not really spooky, are they?
No, man. They're spooky, all right. It's just that they would also probably call the police if we started cooking speed in there.
I mean, that's a good assumption, yes.
But the sign was way off too. I couldn't feel the love at all.
Sir, you promised you'd be lenient.
This is it. Judgment time.
Give me your cash. You could proceed with the speed lab. I don't think we can condone the speed lab. I mean, we're trying to get clean ourselves. Let's do this clean. No speed lab. Just a club for anodic music.
Yeah!
The young man's smile widens to inhuman proportions. His teeth beam in the floodlight.
I knew it.
The would-be leader drops his spiked head between his knees.
It's impossible now.
No, Andre, it's harder now. This hard cop has come to show us how much the fish is, and the fish is always so much more. We all know there was never going to be a club for anodic music with the Speed Lab. Now it has a fighting chance.
What's that about a fish?
There needs to be a club for anodic music in there. Needs to. Everyone hates each other. Everybody hates it here. It's all just drugs and we're slaves and I can't. We are running out of time.
Yeah, we are running out of time. Egghead has a point.
We need a win, Andre. I promise this will be a win. We won't cook speed in there. We'll do it clean. We'll do it true. We'll do it sober and real and beautiful. This will be a victory for the light.
This will be nothing.
Shivers does not believe in them.
You can hear the ice crack underneath you. Outside, the last century waterfront development is crumbling in the wind, a grape-shot row of falling houses. And so is Rue de Saint-Jérôme and all the houses on Main Row. The old cinema is sinking underneath Villa La Bosse.
Wait, does anyone feel that?
What?
Nothing. Let's call this incident crime prevention, but I have my eye on you.
Okay, we'll try to do it without the drugs.
He raises his head from between his knees.
We'll do a straight club up in there, spinning the maddest reels, and nothing but. I swear to God. Okay, Egg?
From here on, it'll be straight all the way.
Goodbye, officer.
Well, alright. It appears that we got them to change their drug ways. I guess they weren't going to start a club to begin with. They were just going to cook that speed, but now there's a chance for the club to actually exist. Does the cell have anything to say about that?
Hello again.
Your associates tried to use me to set up a drug lab. I'm guessing you knew of this plan?
I did, and I'm sorry. For what it's worth, which isn't much.
This is why I didn't go into the tent. Typical delinquency.
You don't get to choose your posse, they choose you. Mine are idiots, but they're mine. I tried to talk Andre out of it. I even tried not to lie to you.
I don't care. I'm loco. I just wanted you to know that I know about the plan.
Okay, but I still regret it. I should have been able to control them. And I will in the future. I promise. May I ask? What did you tell them?
Do what you will with your dance club plans, but just no drug labs, please.
Thank you. I'll get them under wraps, I promise.
I do like how step one of the plan was the speed lab. You know, that's step one, and eventually they move on to step two. But step one has to be the speed lab. That's essential. Like, how are you going to start the dance club if you don't do the speed lab first? Unfortunately, it turned out Egghead was a true believer in the music.
Yes, what is it?
What if you didn't have to leave? I talked to Andre. He wants to make it work.
I don't want to make anything work.
Hold on, you don't want to make anything work?
Yes, anything. I don't want to make anything work.
It's not the anodic dance music that's made her bitter. It's the failure of Fortress Accident.
Are you bitter because your radio game project failed?
That's right. If we couldn't get our Welkins to happen, I don't want anything to happen. Ever again.
There's not a trace of irony in her voice. She means it.
Oh, quite high. +1 research not going well. +1 discovered Fortress Accident. +1 discovered FA with Dice Maker. Oh, the Dice Maker comes into play here. All right, 92%. Let's see how our suggestion goes.
Easy. When her research is done, she can move out.
Listen, about your research. You mentioned earlier that it's not going very well. Maybe I can help with something.
What? No, I don't really need any help with the project.
But if I could help you finish the project, then you wouldn't have to live in a church next to the Boom Boom anymore. Just think about it.
She thinks about it, a glassy look in her eyes. A gust of wind brings more snow in from the broken gallery. It touches her hair.
All right. Bring me the game's offsite copy from my old workspace, if you really want to help. It's stored on a filament memory, and I'm unable to go and fetch it myself.
Well, we have one. I'm gonna guess she's probably talking about the one in the ice cream freezer. Is this the filament you're looking for?
No, that's the production schedule you stole and accessed without authorization. I don't need it.
Well, I didn't steal and access it without authorization. I stole it. I was not able to access it because I didn't have the password. I think that's important to clarify.
In his defense, it was simply lying in the desk drawer of an abandoned cubicle.
Okay, but still.
What is an offsite copy and why do you need it?
It's a backup of my former employer's project, the radio game we were working on. It's stored on a filament memory, just like the one inside this radio computer.
She points to the glowing cube inside the machine.
She's making it extra simple for you.
The backup itself is destroyed now, but I'm hoping to use what's left of it to pinpoint the exact location of the anomaly. You just have to go to my old workspace and get the filament.
By your old workspace, do you mean the studio of Fortress Accident in the doomed commercial area?
Yeah, that's the one. You can get in through the bookshop. You just have to do some explaining to the bookstore lady.
Well, I've actually already been inside the doomed commercial area.
Good. Then you might know the giant ice bear fridge in the building's cellar. The filament is inside the fridge. Just go and get it.
And where exactly is the offsite copy?
In the giant ice bear fridge. I just told you. It has red glowing eyes. It's impossible to miss. You just need to get the offsite copy from the ice bear.
But you've been to the fridge and it wasn't there. There was a note saying...
I found a note from the ice bear fridge. It said the offsite copy had been moved to a safer place.
Wait. A note from whom? Did it specify where they took the filament memory?
It said the offsite copy had been taken to a nearby ice cream maker. The note was signed by someone named Sulislaw.
Jawiza. Of course. Our project lead, Sulisław Jawiza. God, he was always so hell-bent on keeping the copy somewhere safe. And feature creep, and the Valley of the Heads. Like it would have made a difference. The offsite copy was perfectly safe when the data loss happened. That data loss was anomalous.
She crosses her arms defiantly.
And the heads... I won't even get into the heads. Millions of them. Go find that copy from that ice cream maker, will you? Thanks.
Well, I found the ice cream maker, but I couldn't get it open. It's completely frozen.
This is getting ridiculous. Can't you just defrost it? Or, I don't know about the ice cream maker. Just figure something out.
Well, we did unplug it yesterday in game time, so maybe it's defrosted.
There's a solution, but she doesn't want to hand it over to you yet. It's a thing. Something she holds dear.
Well, why can't you go and get the filament yourself?
The bookstore lady hates me. Says I'm part of the curse. Whatever that means.
Wait, are you part of the curse?
Of course not. Anyway, I don't have my keys anymore and she won't let me in.
Why does she think you're part of the curse?
Because she's from Martinez, and people from Martinez have never ever seen a radio computer. She thinks it emits elemental evil.
What if it does emit elemental evil?
It doesn't emit. It receives. You sound just like her. She started praying when she first saw my reign. Turned to higher powers.
The lieutenant coughs like he's amused.
Once I came in one morning, only to find that my terminal was full of those strange trinkets and amulets. Wards. It looked like some Semenine magic.
Well, I'll go look for the offsite copy.
Thanks.
She thinks for a moment, then reaches behind the radio computer and hands you what looks like an oversized pry bar.
And here's my Kvalsund multitool. You might need it to hack loose some ice. It opens everything. If you get me the offsite copy, then you can keep the Kvalsund.
It hurts a bit for her to say this. She's not too happy to be parting with the Kavalsund. This glorious multi-tool makes a regular pry bar completely obsolete.
Glorious. All right. This is the biggest success we've had during the game. Kavalsund KR2 multi-tool. Wow, look at that. That is a serious tool. It is big. It is an advanced pry bar, a pry bar +2, if you will, built by Kavalsund in Vasa. The number of gadgets hidden within the frame of the yellow and gray multi-tool will stagger any technician. All right. Well, I think you know what that means. I think you know it's time to head back into the town proper and pry open that ice cream freezer so we can actually open it up, get that thing out, and, well, I mean, I guess we're not going to access it ourselves. We're going to give it to her. But I'm just going to save the game for right now. And I think that's a good time to end this session for right now. Take a little break. Now that we have this giant tool, I'm very happy about the giant tool. Actually, it's dark, so we should probably, you know, hold that, since it's dark. Alright, take a break, and then it'll be time to use the tool as we come back with Disco Elysium.